Hello everyone, welcome to Learn the Strategy with Alfa-PTE.com, and today I'll be talking about a very important question from the writing module, which is summarized written text. Summarized written text is the first question of your writing module, and you should remember the sequence of questions in writing module is fixed. So the first question that you have in writing module is summarized written text. So let's discuss what is summarized written text in detail. For this item type, you need to write a summary of the text in one sentence. So you will have a text, you will have one passage or 5 passage. It's not fixed, and you need to summarize all that text in one sentence. After reading a text, write a one-sentence summary of the passage. That's your task. You will be assessed not only in writing module, but you'll be assessed on your reading skills also. So you'll get marks in 2 modules, writing and reading module. You will have a text which is not fixed. The length of the text is, the passage is not fixed. It can be as short as 1 paragraph or as long as 5 paragraphs. So you can have text up to 300 words, but no matter how long or how short it is, you have to summarize using just one sentence. In the writing module, as like I told you, the sequence is fixed. There's one more thing that you need to remember. The time is not given for the entire module. You will have a question-wise timer. So if you have a summary, you will have 10 minutes to solve it. After you click next, if you see another summary, you'll have another 10 minutes. You click next, you see another summary, you'll have another 10 minutes. So you have time per question. If those 10 minutes are over, you won't be able to type or remove anything because the computer screen will freeze. Only the next button will work. So you will only have to click next. So you can always have a look at the timer because it will always be available on the screen so that you know how much time you have to finish that particular question. The summarized written text test item requires test takers to accurately summarize a reading of up to 300 words in one sentence using correct form, grammar, and vocabulary. You will have minimum 2 to maximum 3 questions, and you'll get approximately 20 marks. So I'm just saying approximately because questions are not fixed, so marks are not fixed. And it will be based on partial credit. There's no right or wrong. You will be checked on form, grammar, vocabulary, content, spellings, and everything, and you'll get marks according to those things. How you have to attempt this question. So as we've already discussed, you have 10 minutes to write your summary. 10 minutes actually, as soon as you look at the passage, your timer starts. So you have 10 minutes to go through your summary, plan your summary, and write your summary and check your summary. So everything should be done within 10 minutes. Make sure to include the main points of the reading passage in a full single sentence of no more than 75 words. So do not write more than 75 words because that's more than the word limit, and you will get a penalty if you don't follow the word limit. A lot of times the word limit will not be written in your exam, so you have to remember that you cannot go beyond 75 words. The word count at the bottom of the screen counts the number of words you write, so you don't have to manually count each and every word. Just keep looking at the word count and see whether you are within the word limit or you are going beyond the word limit. When you have written your response, check to make sure that it is only one sentence with a capital letter at the beginning and only one full stop at the end. I've seen a lot of students who forget about removing the full stops because they try to take 2 to 3 sentences and try to join them, and they forget and they don't remove the full stop. And if you don't do that, you will get a penalty. Okay, you will be disqualified because you will not follow the main rule of writing the summary in only one sentence. So make sure you don't do that. Make sure you always save at least 2 minutes to go through what you have written before you click next. Your response must be between 5 and 75 words. So check the word count using the total word count counter below the response box. If you write fewer than 5 words or more than 75 words, your response will not be scored. So please remember that. The response must be expressed within one sentence. You should write it in just one sentence. So you will need to use a complex sentence or a compound sentence to be able to summarize the main point, the main idea of the passage, and also briefly mention supporting details. The best strategy is copy paste strategy, that is taking the content directly from the passage rather than paraphrasing it in your own words and just joining the content properly. So you will be marked on the basis of content, your form, your grammar, and your vocabulary. Of course, spellings are also equally important. If you have spelling mistakes, you have penalty, but that's for the entire PTE exam. Wherever you make a spelling mistake, you lose mark. Let's talk about the marking criteria in detail. For content, if you provide a good summary of the text, all relevant aspects are mentioned, then you get full marks. If you just provide a fair summary but miss some aspects, you get 1 mark, and if you do not do anything, you just don't get any marks. Form, if you write in one single sentence, full marks. If you don't, you don't get any marks. Grammar, if you are grammatically correct, your summary has correct grammatical structure, it contains no errors, then full marks. If it contains a few errors, then you lose 1 mark, and if it is absolutely incorrect, then you don't get any marks. Same happens with vocabulary. If you have appropriate choice of words, then you get full marks. If you have some lexical errors, then you lose a mark, and if you have a horrible choice of word with informal words that hinder communication, that you don't get any marks. The score in summarized written text is based on 4 factors. Content, always see whether your response summarizes the main points in the passage. Your content is scored by determining if all key points of the passage have been addressed without misinterpreting the purpose or the topic. If you are able to uh, say the purpose of the passage, if you are able to clearly summarize the main idea and essential supporting ideas. So, of course, they don't expect you to summarize all the 5 paragraphs in one sentence, which is practically not possible. So don't try to do that. Just try to pick the main idea, the core topic, and put it as a summary. Form, does your response meet the requirements of one sentence summary? So ask this question. If your summary contains fewer than 5 words and more than 75 words, you will not get a score. And the same thing about one single sentence. If you're not able to do that, you will not be scored. Grammar. Grammar is scored by determining if the basic sentence structure is correct. The best response usually consists of a main clause and a subordinate clause, and it's pretty simple. The best response is a simple response, an uncomplicated response, wherein if you read the sentence, you should know whether it's right or wrong. Vocabulary, like as we've already discussed, if you use appropriate words, good academic words that is relevant in academic environment, then try not to use any informal words, so words that show the understanding of the context. So that's how you get your score in vocabulary. Let's discuss a few tips and tricks to help you ace this question. Be simple, guys. It's Very important that you understand the importance of being simple, because if you write an overly complicated sentence, you won't know whether that sentence is right or wrong. So be simple. Try not to think that you have to completely write all 70 to 75 words in order to get full marks. You don't. Okay. A more complex sentence leaves you increasingly powerless against language and sentence structure mistakes. So do not complicate your response. Never complicate your response. Somewhere in the range of 35 and 60 words can be accurate, but just because I say 60 words and you're going beyond 60 words and you are able to make a perfect summary with around 70, 74 words, and then you end up remembering that, oh, she said 60 words, so let me remove. You don't have to do that. I'm just giving you a vague idea. But if you're able to write a wonderful summary and it's going beyond 60 words and it's within those 75 words, then please do so. All right. And make sure you follow this, because I found that I could summarize the main ideas without my sentence getting too mixed up, too tangled, because it's always a good idea to keep it straight. Use connectors. Connectors are an incredible method to stop yourself from using too many commas. That's like abusing your commas and ands. Okay, I've seen a lot of summary, comma, 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 and continuing the sentence, and sometimes it makes no sense because you're putting too many commas. And guys, remember, you cannot join two independent clauses with a comma. Okay, and if you don't know that, you would make a grammatical error and you would lose marks. For example, I went home, comma, I had my dinner. Two independent clauses that you can't join them with a comma. It's incorrect. I went home and I had my dinner. I went home, full stop, I had my dinner. Okay, you can't join it with commas. So you can't put commas everywhere, and too many ands also do not look very good. So use other connectors. Let's see what other connectors you can use. Some common connectors are obviously and, the most common one, then for, then what's more, however, moreover, furthermore, so these are some connectors that you can use. This one is important, guys. You won't have the option to address each point, like I told you, and in a single sentence. So don't stress. The PT invigilators are not looking for the exact words in your summaries that are there in the entire paragraph, because they know it's not possible. So don't worry about it. The best way that individual lose marks in PT summarized written text is by overcomplicating the sentence. The best method to lose your marks is to complicate your sentence. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to lose your marks, don't do it. Individuals feel that really long and complex sentences are what PT examiners are looking for. However, they don't consider the way that the more unpredictable a sentence is, there's more room for mistake, guys. So they're not looking for complicated sentence. They're just looking for grammar. Grammar is correct. All right. Perfect. Content is there. Good. You're using form. That means you're writing within the word limit and in one sentence. Perfect. Vocabulary is academic. All good. That's it. They're not looking for anything else. No compound sentence. No complex sentence. Nothing. Seeing how to write in a simple and composed manner is important when it comes to getting your score in summarized written text. Let's have a look at this example, guys. This is a real exam question. So I'll just take some time and I will be using a copy paste method. So by copy paste method, I will take sentences from the passage and I will make a summary out of it. This is the easiest and the best method to write a summary. So what you can do is find 2 or 3 sentences. First sentence has to be an independent sentence, like an introductory sentence, and the other 2 sentences should be a continuing sentence. Say for example, if I'm selecting one sentence which is talking about Australia, okay, so Australia was facing a problem with bushfires, okay, or in the year 2019 Australia struggled in uh, putting down the bushfires, and they are trying to take certain measures to prevent this from happening again. So this is an independent sentence. All right. Or talk about Melbourne. Melbourne has been declared as the most livable city again for the consecutive 4th year. So independent sentence. After that, can I say Melbourne is the most livable city and therefore the people of Sydney are deciding to take care of the bushfire problem? Nothing. That doesn't make any sense. So either talk about Melbourne or talk about bushfires. So if you are taking sentences, 3 sentences should talk about the same topic. So basically when you put them together, it should look like one sentence. That's the copy paste method. Okay, so let's have a look at the response, guys. Forget about the word count. That's a random word count. I just wanted to show you that the word count is available there, but that's not the word count of the response. So the response is less than 75 words. I checked, so no problem with that. So most of the time whenever I give my exam, most of the time, 90% of the time, I always pick the first sentence, except where there is a question in the beginning. So I don't pick the question because obviously it's not an independent sentence. But apart from that, I always pick the first sentence because the first sentence will be an independent sentence, because the passages that they give you in summarized written text are academic passages, and academic passages always start with an independent sentence or a question. So if there is a question, don't pick it. If there is an independent sentence, be my guest. So I've picked the first sentence. Skipping breakfast seems a simple way of losing weight or saving time while getting the children ready for school or rushing off to work. So then what did I do? Let me show you. After that, I removed this full stop and I put a comma. That is the first change. Remove the full stop after the first sentence and put a comma. Then I picked the second sentence. I continued, but it can also be a sign. As my connector is already present, I just removed the capital B and I put the small b, because you will not have a capital letter in the middle of a sentence until and unless it's a proper noun, like somebody's name or a country's name or a city's name, like that. So if but is not there, you can add and. All right, let me just explain this to you, then I can give you another example. But it can also be a sign of an unhealthy lifestyle with potentially dangerous consequences, including a higher risk of premature death. So I've completely taken the second sentence also. Then I removed the second full stop, this one, and I added a semicolon. So that's your second change. Okay, so remove the second full stop, add a semicolon, and after semicolon I put moreover and comma. Moreover, you use it when you are continuing about a sentence. So that's your second change. Moreover, remember guys, semicolon, space, moreover, and then comma. Moreover, then I thought I would take this third sentence, but it was a little too long, so I took this one. So from here till here, then here till here. And moreover, those who skip food in the morning are also more likely to be fatter and less well educated, comma, whatever is there, just copy that comma as it is, meaning they find it harder to get a job. So first, they will have potential consequences including high risk of premature death, and they're also more likely to be fatter and less well educated. So it's still continuing about the same topic. So 3 sentences about the same topic, and the full stop will only come towards the end. All right, and you will not have full stop anywhere else. So that's the best way of doing your summary. In this way, you'll get full marks for content because you are taking content from here. You'll not lose any marks in form because obviously you're using full stop at the end. If you are able to summarize in 2 sentences and it's going beyond 55 or 60 words, don't add a third sentence because then it will be more than 75 words. Okay. And one more thing, vocabulary, because this is an academic passage, you'll get full marks for the vocabulary. And because you're just looking at the passage and writing the sentences, you'll not lose any marks in spellings. Okay. That's how I did. So to make it simple, let me just show you. First sentence, then remove the full stop, put a comma. If there is no connector, like here I had but, then you have to put and. Then second sentence, and then semicolon. After semicolon, you have 3 options. You can either put semicolon moreover for continuation, or semicolon furthermore for continuation again, or semicolon space however and comma. So remember, for moreover, furthermore and however, you will have semicolon space moreover, comma, furthermore, comma, however, comma. However you use if there is a contrast. So that's how you connect 3 sentences. If you are able to write within 2 sentences, then you don't need this part. You will just write first sentence, comma, and second sentence and full stop. That's how you do your copy paste method. Okay, moving on. Within the writing module, summarize written text contributes the maximum marks to writing. So make sure you practice this question with artificial intelligence scoring on alfa-PTE.com. Follow us on our Facebook page for regular updates and join our Telegram group for a free assessment. Have a good day, guys.